Welcome back to True Treats. We're back again with more recipes for you to learn from and enjoy. Week 4 of Monday Night Football is bringing us a matchup featuring the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This week we had a sandwich competition with a pulled pork barbecue sandwich for the Colts and a classic Cuban for the Buccaneers. Enjoy the video.
For the sandwich competition, both of our sandwiches are using a pulled pork. So once again, we use the crock pot, one of our favorite kitchen ingredients. We put the pork roast inside of that with a little bit of water and slow roasted it all day while we were hanging out at work. For our first sandwich, we're making a barbecue pork for the Indianapolis Colts. The first thing we need to do is make our barbecue sauce. So we started with mincing a little bit of white onion. Toss that in a bowl with some Worcestershire sauce and a little bit of butter for not only the thickening but as well as smoothness in our sauce. Next, for the tanginess, we add a little bit of vinegar, and then we're going to add some ketchup or tomato paste, which would work just as well. We were out of brown sugar, so as a substitute we used a little bit of maple syrup with some white granulated sugar. On top of that, we're going to add our spices. First we start with some red pepper, then we're going to move to some paprika, both of which help for not only flavor but also the coloring of the sauce. Then of course we're going to add some salt and some crushed black pepper to season. From this point, you want to mix the sauce and taste it and decide if you like it or not. For us, we decided it needed a little bit more spice, so out of the fridge we grabbed our ghost pepper hot sauce and added a little bit of that to the sauce. Our second sandwich is the Cuban sandwich, representing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For that, we once again had to start with making our sauce, so we started with mincing a little bit of garlic, throwing that in the food processor with a whole lime. Once you do your initial squeeze on the lime, you can use your thumbs to work the inner flesh of the lime and get the rest of it out there so you don't waste any of the juice that's inside. Then we added in some of our seasonings, starting with dried oregano, and we added again a little bit of salt and some crushed black pepper, and of course a little bit of orange juice there that you see on the side. When we own our own smoker, we will eventually make these same sauces and slow cook the pork in it all day long. That way you develop a nice deep flavor of each one of these sauces inside of the pork meat itself. However, you can still make these sauces, put them on the side, and slow cook your pork all day using the crock pot method that we've shown here, and you can slow cook them in a saucepan for about 30 minutes or so and still get the strong flavor inside of your pork meat to create a delicious sandwich for each one of these. Next, we just need to shred our pork, which remember to let it cool a little bit beforehand so you don't have to worry about burning your fingers. And then, once it's all shredded, we'll take that and we'll put it on top of our stove and cook it down with our sauce. We set the stove to medium, then we take our pulled pork and we just separate it into two portions, putting it into either pan. And then we'll add our sauces and slow cook the flavor right into the meat. First up, we have our barbecue pork. So we dump the sauce in the pan. You'll notice the chunks of onion there. Great thing about them is the flavor develops as they slow cook and the texture weakens so they're nice and soft when it comes time to serve. Then we took our sauce, put it in for the Cuban pork, and we add a little bit of bay leaves and some orange juice to help with the cooking process. That way the sauces will thicken and the flavor will develop the entire time that we're cooking it on the stove, creating a delicious sandwich. With the bread toasting in the oven, we threw the rest of our meats in the pan there, as you saw. The nice sizzling flavor of the salami and the ham getting heated up for our Cuban sandwich. Now, it's time to prepare the bread, so we put a little ground fresh mustard on there for the Cuban sandwich, and we portion the pork right on top. Next, we'll add our ham and our salami and just layer it one over the other on top of the sandwich. And after that, we'll put a little bit of the classic Swiss cheese on top before we throw it back in the oven to get the cheese melted. After we place the Swiss cheese on the sandwich, we'll move to the barbecue pork, where once again we will portion it out onto our roll, but this time we will place cheddar cheese on top before we place both sandwiches back in the oven so that the cheese can melt and the bread can toast up nice and crispy. After we place them into the oven, it's about 5 or 8 minutes before they're ready to once again come out. And from here, it's a simple process. We pull both plates out of the oven, put them on the counter there, fold the bread over on top. Oh, but don't forget the nice fresh slice of pickle that we're going to add to our Cuban sandwich. Then we will take both sandwiches, we will cut them in half, put them on a plate, serve them, and enjoy the meal for the rest of the evening.
Hope you guys liked the video, and thanks for tuning in for week 4.
If you did like that video, give us a thumbs up or favorite it down below. We always like to hear how we did, so send us in a video response, or you can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Plus, check out the link down below for more information that we could not fit into this video, including full recipes.
Can't wait to see you guys for week 5 with new and exciting recipes. And as always, send us any suggestions for new recipes for us to try. And until then,
Keep on cooking.